When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hey guys, this is the Void of the Little Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. We're going to get right into this. It didn't take Izuku and Harley long to get back to the house from the museum in Hosu City. The moment Izuku entered the front door as he enters his house, he got bombarded with a bunch of questions immediately when Ivy saw him enter the living room. He explained to her it was a normal day at UA. They took a surprising field trip to a Hero Museum. He explained the conversation he had with Toga on a bus on their way to the Hero Museum about him finding some information when he went digging for intel on Espers. As he held up a flash drive during the conversation with Ivy, as he put it on the living room table across from the couch that's in the living room, Izuku can tell that both of them are curious about the subject of Espers, but he put a pin in that for a later discussion, as he continued explaining what happened at the museum. As he told them, or basically both of them, told him when he separated from the rest of the class, he was attacked by an oversized gecko that goes by name of Killer Croc, and some musclehead douchebag that goes by Bane. Afterwards, he found Two-Face, and apparently Two-Face planned the whole thing, and he was very eager or tempt to just to off him right there and there. After he got done explaining what happened at the museum, he tried his best to stay calm. Well, I totally messed that up. After he got done explaining what happened tonight, he tried his best to keep Ivy calm. She wanted to outright kill Two-Face. She's never liked Harvey Dent, especially now how he tried to kill Izuku. After explaining what happened tonight and calming down Ivy, Harley left the room to only come back with a laptop, as she placed it on the living room table while Ivy put the disk drive in the USB port. As Harley turns on the computer, you two seem very eager to see what's on the flash drive. Of course we are. The flash drive contains information on Espers, because you are the only Esper I know of. Figured this would be very, very important for you. It's important for you to learn anything from your own powers. You don't have the same information like the people that do have metahuman genes or have the quirk gene, so you're limited on the resources, how you use your powers. I've seen you struggle through your training, so I do know you have that problem. And if anything can help you in that flash drive, then I say go for it. Harley agrees with me. So, we'll help you. We'll help you every step of the way. Izuku saw Harley nod. Then he immediately started to open up the files, what contain in the flash drive, as he was very curious what information was on this flash drive. That he was given by Todoroki. Being the hero of a pro hero, he has suspected that he has some benefits. He might be able to get access to such information like this that he has no access to. Izuku searched file after file. He even came across information, some sort of underground experiment with a Esper called Accelerator that killed 10,000 clones of a girl named. For future reference, I know I'm gonna butcher her name. The railgun chick, Masaki or something like that. I don't remember her name. So, I know how to spell it. Pronouncing it is a whole nother matter. With impressive electric, I forget what they call it. So we'll just call it electric abilities for now. As he watches several files of her fights that were recorded, Izuku analyzed her fighting style, how she used her powers. Then he saw her use her most famous attack that she's known for, railgun, using a coin that she carries all around. Izuku is already running scenarios in his head if he might be able to do something similar with his bioelectricity. And for the pointless slaughter of clones, he found the whole situation that they ran in this lab. Sorry, give me a second. I butchered that already. And for the pointless slaughter of clones, he found the whole reason why they ran this underground experiment to create a level 6 Esper. Izuku personally didn't understand the level system when it came to Esper. He expects he might be a level 4 or 5 Esper. He doesn't have the right information to gauge his power just yet. But with his information on his drive, it would be a great help of figuring a couple things out that's been well hidden. He put a pin on that for right now as he moved on to other files. He found a file that uses similar abilities to his. He eventually found out he was been using his powers the wrong way. The way he was using his Esper powers, he wouldn't be able to use them in there. Well, sorry, let's try it again. The way he's using his Esper abilities, he wouldn't be able to use them at their full potential. But the whole Misake, I like yet again. I don't remember how to pronounce her name. Misake. Give me a second here. But the whole Misake network left a bad taste in his mouth while he's absorbing all the new information. He had a nagging feeling he needed to look into this girl a little more. There's plenty of information about her on the flash drive, so he looked at several files and eventually end up finding a full list of Railgun's family tree. What shocked Izuku after seeing a picture of his mother, much younger. But according to this file, his mother was related to this railgun, Misake. Or, yeah, I know, short pause. I know for a fact I'm not saying her name properly. So I know that ahead of time. So, alright, let's continue forward. And he highly doubt Todoroki figured that out. After all, he doesn't know what his mother looks like. he never brought it up in any of the conversations with Todoroki. According to this, he is the last of her family line. His mother most likely changed her last name when she got married. It probably will. That's probably why he clearly missed this connection. But after looking into her personal information, they they had on her file. Apparently, she even got married to that psychopath accelerator. That would explain a lot of his violent tendencies. He must have had he must have inherited from accelerator in some way or shape or form. After spending the whole night looking through the different files, it never it never did once mention why all the Espers magically disappeared in Japan, and the Japan government decided to start hiding the very existence of Espers. Izuku decided to call it a night. By the look of Ivy, what she's giving him, she feels the same way. As all three of them turn in for a night, the next morning you see Izuku, Harley, and Ivy eating breakfast in the kitchen, on the kitchen table. Harley and Ivy are already dressed ready for work, while Izuku is wearing his UA uniform with his jacket. Was still wearing his jacket. He doesn't leave that jacket anywhere. So after he finished up his breakfast, they eventually went their all separate ways. The two girls went to go to work while Izuku had to go down to UA. When he learned last night, he has a lot of things in mind. What he learned last night, he has a lot of things on his mind, especially finding his connection with two powerful Espers. Even though he's unsure how he feels about being related to Accelerator, he found the videos on him very disturbing. The guy was unhinged, and it clearly displayed on the short videos of footage that was attached to his file. The guy was very unstable. He was too much in his thoughts. He didn't even notice he already walked to UA as he's standing in front of the gates. As there's a lot of reporters standing in front of the school gates. Apparently, he overheard there was some sort of break-in in UA. The staff is still determining what cause, and what their motives were, and to see if anything went missing. Izuku wasn't about to walk through a whole lot of reporters. Instead, he floated over all of them and landed on the other side of the gate, putting his hands in his jacket pocket as he makes his way to Class 1A. When he entered into Class 1A, he saw Todoroki and Momo talking to each other as he approached both of them. Morning, as he sat down on the opposite side of Todoroki. Yeah, so that little flash drive you gave me, it it had a lot of information, and it has very and it has interesting information about my family on there. I was quite surprised to find that. What do you mean? As Izuku looks around, seeing no one else in the room, as he continued, you you know that Esper that is known as Railgun? Yeah, I peeked at her file. Well, apparently, my mother was related to her. I found my mother's picture of I did find I did find a picture of my mother on the file of known relatives down her family tree. But she was much younger. But regardless how old she is, I know when I see a picture of my mother. But there's more. I don't know how. Sorry, give me a second, guys. I don't know how or why. Apparently, my great rather grandmother or whatever you want to refer her ended up marrying that psychopath accelerator. Wait, you're telling me you're related to that guy? Well, guess that would kind of explain your aggressive attitudes sometimes. As Momo nods her head in agreement. You're probably right. You're probably right. But I do want to thank you. Anyways, the information you gave me was very useful. To think I've been using my Esper powers the the wrong way. Wait, you can't be serious. You've been using your powers the wrong way this whole time? Indeed. I've been treating my Esper abilities like it's a quirk. Clearly, it's not. But when my abilities manifested, somehow I self-consciously thought of my abilities as a quirk. During that time, I had no idea I was an Esper, but of course, there's not much on Espers. I did eventually found some information about them, so that's how I figured I was an Esper after doing a couple tests. But what I'm trying to say is, I followed the list of how Espers are. Sorry, they're good. But what I'm trying to say is, I read and followed the the list how Espers use their abilities. If I followed if I followed the information I found on that flash drive, my abilities should increase in power. To what extent, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to train and figure it out from. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to train it and figure it out from there. So, thanks for making me more powerful. This Izuku starts to cackle a little bit, just teasing Todoroki. Good, Midoriya. I haven't been laying around either. I've been training. I plan to have a rematch in this year's sports festival. The more powerful you are, the more satisfied I'll be when I'm victorious over you. We'll see about that, Todoroki. Don't feel bad when I utterly outclass you. Alright, boys, that's enough. We all know you both are pretty strong. Looks like the teacher finally came in. Izuku got up from the desk and moved to his normal seat. He wanted to he wanted to sorry. He wanted to tease around or goof off around Todoroki some more before class. So he does like their friendly banter he gets from Todoroki. Despite Todoroki being the cold, quiet kid in class, he knows how to talk shit to he knows how to talk shit to people. When it comes to Izuku himself, he lived in Gotham City, so shit talking was a necessary skill when he was younger. Canary informed the whole class because of the events of yesterday at the museum and in the break-in in UA. They'll be stuck in in their classroom all day, even during lunch. But until uh till the end of the day, until the pro heroes and officers finish up their investigation. Todoroki and Izuku's been a well during this time Izuku and Todoroki hanged out and talk about a few things, what they're going to do from this point on. Izuku and Todoroki spend a lot of time talking where they're going to find the rest of the information to figure out this mystery. For some reason, he doesn't really understand why Todoroki is so hell bent on figuring this out. Izuku wouldn't be. Sorry, give me a second, guys. Izuku couldn't help be impressed with his drive to find answers. even Izuku himself is not that driven to find the information. He pretty much got what he wanted. He needed to understand his Esper abilities a little more. He's not really concerned why Esper disappeared, but that doesn't mean he's not curious. So he decided that he'll go along with Soroki and see where this trail ends up. While the two of them were discussing where to go next, Momo spoke up. We could always just visit the ruins of Academy City to find some information there. It's basically untouched. The military does patrol that area very frequently. So I'm guessing they're trying to hide something there. My family has done dealings with the Japanese government. My father brought it to my attention when I asked him about any information on espers. I was curious if my fro- if my father knew any information on them. We just have to sneak in and get the information if there's any information in there to be found in Academy City. Academy City is somewhere in the wilderness. Apparently, over the time, nature did overgrow the city. At least I expect that's what happens when they abandon the city. At least that's all the information that about the city that I found myself. Academy City is very top secret information, apparently. And before you ask, I'm coming along. I'm not letting you two boys have all the fun. All three of us are a team, anyways. I don't have any problem with you coming along, Momo. Your your creation quirk would come in handy in almost every situation. I have no doubt you're going to be a great assistant when we get into Academy City, if there's any security gates or stuff like that. And you're not shabby in hand-to-hand combat. Really don't see a problem with it either. So when do you want to do this? We can't do it. We can't go anytime soon. We have the USJ rescue training tomorrow, and shortly after that, we will be sorry. Shortly after that, they will be probably announcing the sports festival. Then according to my sister, they also do internships right after the sports festival. I'll try to find a perfect time. Oh, give me a second. I'll try to find a perfect time frame when we could actually go and do this. Thus, concentrate on the USJ thing and the sports festival. I'll leave that up to you, Momo. It's pretty much at the end of the day, so I'm a. Sorry. I think I'm gonna go back to my dorm. My dorm. See you later, Todoroki. And Momo and Izuku made their way, as they all went their separate ways. They all made their way home. Well, Izuku went to his house, and Momo went back to her dorm. He did the normal routine, eat dinner with both of his girlfriends. Then he did some light training with his Esper abilities. He's using the information he found on the hard drive to see if there's any difference in his powers when it comes to his Esper abilities, basically. He was quite surprised there was a slight increase in his power of each ability he's able to use. Using his powers in such a way, in such a manner, he figured out his abilities are all about mathematics and equations. It's a miracle Izuku has gone this far without really realizing that. He found out he could actually use his electricity fist technique when he infused his bioelectricity with his fist. Now he's able to do it with his feet and legs and knees and elbows, all at the same time if he wants, if he wanted to. It does. It's tiring, but he's able to do it. He needs to train in it. He needs to train in it to be able to have it activated longer periods of time. He also wants to try his. He also wants to try this great grandmother's technique with the coin that she's been known as railgun. But unfortunately, his backyard. I don't know why I was going to say Byakugan for some reason, but all right, let's get on. It's not a good place to use that sort of ability. It's very destructive if he's even managed to recreate it in some shape or form. And damaging his backyard, is something he wants to try to avoid at any cost. The next day, he entered class 1A. It was an average day. They did a couple classes. They were told they were going to head. Sorry, they were told they had to head to the bus because they're about to make their way to the USJ. As normal, he sat in the back only for a few minutes for Mina to try to have a conversation with him. He didn't want to be rude to her, so he replied with every question. He was surprised it wasn't too bad of a conversation. She's a bit bubbly at times, but he did realize that Mina does have a serious side. And she seems to take their friendship pretty serious. Even Kara sat on the other side of Izuku. Began talking to him when she saw him talking to Mina. She figured it would be the best chance for a conversation. She knows he's not normally the very talkative type, so she's going to take advantage of the situation and engage in a simple friendly conversation. Sue did not. Sue did her whole questioning thing about who's the strongest in the class. She she didn't really ask Izuku or Todoroki. She didn't want to interrupt them. They were both having their own conversations. As they finally arrived at the USJ, everyone get off the bus, stretch out while Izuku found himself leaning against a tree, just relaxing as he's, pretty much just chilling underneath the tree. While everyone was scratching Black Canary, informed the class that All Might was supposed to come with them, but he had a hero emergency, so he couldn't be here today. Everyone was kind of bummed, but they did understand. When they entered the USJ, everyone seems normal, like being. Oh, give me some, guys. Being introduced to Pro Hero 13, they began signing small groups of students in the different battle zones or the rescue zones. As Izuku found himself by himself in the forest area, the number of students were a bit odd. A couple of students that were supposed to be there today was originally going to be on his team, just judging by the team selections. But they caught a nasty case of food poisoning, so they couldn't come. Black portals started to open up all around the USJ as the villains start popping out of nowhere. Izuku found himself surrounded by a whole group of mixture between men and women. There is a blonde girl wearing some sort of school uniform with pigtails, skipping towards him with a smile on her face as she gets a closer look at him. Ooh, you're new. What are you waiting for, boys and girls? Attack! As she simply laid down on the ground, or laid down on the grass, with her hand under her chin, as she just watches Izuku to see what type of quirk he has. It didn't take long for the other villains to begin attacking Izuku. He immediately used his as he immediately used his bioelectricity bioelectricity to infuse his um legs, feet, elbows, and such. As when one of the villains rushed towards Izuku, he infused his bioelectricity. Or basically, sorry, as he basically infused his bioelectricity in his knee and dug his knee into the gut of the villain, he immediately getting electrocuted. As the villain falls to the ground unconscious, Izuku immediately switched to a new target. After seeing his current target is unconscious, as he's no longer a threat, as he continues his battle against several different opponents all at once, landing several electric palm strikes by palm striking one of the villains with the infused palm strike in his hand, making him go fly backwards. Then immediately go into a infused by electricity kick at the side of the head of one of the villains, making him fall unconscious, hitting the ground hard. As it make a loud sound when the villain made impact to the ground, with his kick like a it sounded like making a large sound when he made impact with his kick, like it's quite similar to a thunderstorm in his leg sound when he finally makes contact with his feet. At first, Toga was slightly interested in the green hair guy, just from his looks alone, in the whole "don't fuck with me" vibe she's getting from him. And his fighting style, with his electricity trick and legs was very interesting. What caught her, most? Oh, sorry. What caught her? How am I gonna say this? What caught her interest even more was when a group of her fellow villains attacked the green hair guy at the same time, only to see the same villains get tossed aside from an unknown force, slamming into several trees. That was close. They almost boxed me in there. They can't do any damage to me, but I would rather not be in that situation. I guess I should stop playing around with them. As he immediately start to throw around these villains with his telekinesis, occasionally landing infused by electricity strike across the face of one of the villains, then toss him against the tree. When he was done with him, knocking him out, he didn't even notice Toga's presence when she lunged towards him and was flashing her knife, trying to cut him, only for him to dodge every strike she attempted. Even though he highly doubts the knife this crazy chick is using wouldn't be able to cut him. He kind of wants to keep his durability a secret from the villains. The less information they have on him, the better. No fair. You dodge. As she gives Izuku a pouty face. As she lunged at him without warning, she was impressed by his reflex. He's been dodging every single one of her knife attacks, as she does a backflip and throw several of her knives at Izuku, then lunge at him with the same knife she threw, as they're matching her speed as she's ducking under the knives that she threw. She got close enough where she could actually attempt to cut him, She was expecting to see blood, red, crimson red blood, but she only saw her knife bent into different directions when she tried to stab Izuku. As she jumped backwards a little bit to get some distance between the two of them. Well, this is kind of embarrassing. It seems like you're special. I can't cut you. You're so frustrating. But that does motivate me even more to actually cut you. See what color your blood is. Is it pretty? As she continues to try to cut Izuku, only to see Toga take out her phone, talking to someone on the other end, like the fight didn't even matter at that current time. All right, Shiggy. I heard you. I'll stop playing around and get on the mission. I do apologize. Sorry. I do apologize. Unfortunately, we must part ways. Before I leave, I would like your name. I'll even go first. So it's not weird. I'm Himiko Toga, the cutest, hottest villain you ever come across. Now, it's your turn, handsome. I have a sinking feeling you're going to be one of those villains I fight the most. I might as well make sure you know who I am. I'm not going to tell you my real name. That would be idiotic of me. But I'll give you my hero name. That, that I decided to use. After hearing an angry blonde call me that a few times when he thought I wasn't listening, so I decided that sorry, my name would be known as Pro Hero Deku. And I have a feeling it would just piss him off, and that greatly entertains me. Well, thank you. It's been a blast. I'll be seeing you around again. Sorry, I'll be seeing you around. You can count on that. As she waved goodbye to Izuku and ran off, Izuku stayed where he was. He's suspecting that this is several villain attacks. It's not just one villain, judging by who she was talking to. Must be her superior. She ran out where she needs to go to the other villains and engaging in the rest of the UA attack. And engaging the UA students, as Black Canary is causing quite a bit of trouble for the League of Villains from her siren or from her canary cry alone, and that's not including her combat experience. And the simple fact that the League of Villains are unaware of one of the students is actually a Kryptonian, so whatever plan they have is going to be completely useless once they figure out not even a Nomu could keep up with the Kryptonian at full strength, fully rested. But unfortunately, the villains will never get a chance because she was immediately told by Black Canary and Ida to go and get some reinforcements, taking away their major card that would have been make the fight a whole lot easier. And that's not even including Izuku into this scenario. So they still should be fine. After he made sure she left the area, he went to another battle area. By pure luck alone, he came across Todoroki and Momo fighting a guy with black hair with a long leather trench coat, throwing out blue fire out of his hands with some sort of stitch skin, like he was a ripoff of a Frankenstein. While the villain is distracted, Izuku managed to get pretty close to him, pretty close to Dabi and land a right hook across his face, making him go flying and skidding across the ground. Izuku immediately ran towards both of his friends and made sure they were alright. You good, Todoroki? I'm good, I'm just tired. Thanks for the I can't say for them. Assist, Midoriya. Thank you, Izuku. Things were looking pretty dicey before you arrived. Saw that. So, what's his deal? He's some sort of villain that that um that came out of that black portal that appeared all around this area. I don't know where as they immediately started to ambush us. I always managed to take care of the small fries with Momo's help. As you can see, as you could see all the unconscious villains, half frozen ones, but mostly alright. Apparently the villains was apparently the sorry, try again. Apparently the villain with the Frankenstein face has a fire-based quirk. He goes by the name of Dabi. Look sharp. He's approaching. I'm not gonna lie, kid. That stung a little. I'm gonna have to get you back for that. As he unleashed a powerful cremation blast towards all three of them, Izuku and Todoroki both shot out back their own fire. As the fires collide with the cremation fire, as they all cancel each other's fire out, as fire just sprinkles down like rain. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Now things are getting interesting. As the smoke finally clears, as everyone sees the villain is unharmed, he's not even breathing heavy. I didn't expect the new arrival to have a fire-based quirk as well. Let's start heating things up, shall we, boys? When he was about to start the battle up again, he noticed his phone go off. One moment, please. I'll get right back to you. Someone's important calling. As he picked up the phone, as he placed the phone next to his ear. What is it, Shiggy? Fine, I understand. Duty calls. I'll be taking my leave. It's a shame It's a shame. Things were starting to heat up. I'll be seeing you two again, and if I were you, I would regroup with your little friends soon. The boss man's about to announce himself. I was only here to just keep the stragglers busy. Catch you later, boys. As he steps through a black portal that appeared from behind him, as he disappears, they started to head back near the entrance and see the rest of the class when they surrounded by a bunch of villains. Black Canary is in a defensive stance, protecting her students, ready to blast them with her canary cry if they get any closer. There you are, the three of you. Get over here. Who are we missing? Everyone is accounted for, besides Ida and Kara. I sent it back to UA to get some reinforcements. This is far too organized to be a random villain attack. The villains behind this hasn't announced himself yet. Right after Black Canary said that, as a black portal opens up behind all the villains, as Shigaraki steps through the portal with his attendant, Kirigiri. That's enough, boys. Sorry, give it a try again. That's enough, boys. And girls, this level has been completed. You all lost fair and square. It's time for the boss battle. Future heroes. I am Tomura Shigaraki. I am the leader of the League of Villains. We were expecting All Might, but he'll probably get here eventually. It'll be a shame if he was so late that you all accidentally died. That would be a shame. Let's see how good of a #1 hero he is. Let's see if he could get here in time to save your life. If he's too late, I'll just might butcher you guys anyways. Now, what to do, Let's see. Ah, I got an idea. Gary, bring out the Nomu. As another portal opened up, as another portal opens up, as a huge black creature seemed to have some sort of beak for a face and a very exposed brain step out of the portal. Basically, I just said. Time for the boss battle. Sick the Nomu. After the Nomu rush towards his teacher and his classmates, he was able to move. Move fast enough that the creature moves. Oh, sorry. Let's try this again. As the creature rushed towards his teacher and his classmates, as the Nomu was moving so fast that Black Canary couldn't even keep track of its location. Couldn't really keep track of it. She didn't react. Oh, sorry. She couldn't even react fast enough to go in a defense stance. As Izuku used his telekinesis energy basically to blast everyone away from the area, as he pushed Black Canary out of the way and caught the fist of the Nomu, only using his hand, as he nailed the creature in the side of the face, immediately going into a high kick stance, kicking in a Nomu across the face, making the Nomu fly back towards his master. As the Nomu lands, as the Nomu fly past Shigaraki. No, as Shigaraki scratches his neck. I call hacks, cheater. There's something about that kid I just don't like. I feel like I've seen him before, but where? He wasn't expecting the science project gone wrong to move so fast when it rushed towards Izuku again. As he got nailed across the face, as Izuku got lifted up the air a little bit from the ground, from the pure strength of this creature, only for the Nomu to grab Izuku by the back of the back of the neck, and slam him into the ground, then kick Izuku into several trees, as he goes flying backwards into, basically a good portion of the trees in that area at least, as the creature has a similar modification to its body that Izuku, unfortunately Izuku was the template for the body, for the body modifications for this Nomu and future Nomus from this point on. And that's where we're going to cut it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Enjoy my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video. Too hyped up on sugar. It's probably why I was stuttering a little bit there. Or not phrasing words properly, but anyways, I'll catch you in the next video.